So multiple lawmakers say that Social Security will be stronger one way or another. But I want to get serious about things for a second, and I want to be very clear on this because we are seeing all throughout the U.S. economy that things are not looking great. There's a few upsides. There's some good things that are happening. I addressed this the other day. But for every good thing, there's 2 or 3 bad things that are also happening. So here's what we need to address today. This is a process. Congress is going through this process, and they go through it time and time again. And they do this to try to negotiate different deals, come at them from different angles, and it's what we see every single time. This is what's going on for the debt ceiling, the federal budget, Social Security, Medicare, everything. We are seeing them take different angles, different sides, and they try to figure out what is the best deal we can get without getting a complete no from the opposition. Now, I've said this before, but I want to be very clear on this, and I want to make sure everybody knows it. At this time, Congress wants to see where our economy is headed. That's what they want to see. They don't want to make any substantial moves to reform Social Security just yet. They want to wait and be patient. The hardest part right now is that we are seeing Congress attempt to reform Social Security, figure out ways to make sure it is solvent past 2034, but they're doing this in a very, very difficult time when our economy is shifting, when there's a good chance we end up in a recession, when we still have inflation at 6%, and we will know next week. We know next week, a week from today, on April 12th, we will have our new CPI reading. So that's good news there. But it doesn't stop there. We also know, for example, Morgan Stanley, in a recent forecast, they say something worse than the 2008 financial crisis is coming for commercial real estate. Yeah, think about that. It's going to be worse than the 2008 financial crisis. It's going to be worse for commercial real estate. And you're probably thinking, well, why would I care? And why would commercial real estate have anything to do with Social Security? Well, think about this. The way Social Security makes its money is it taxes the American people, workers, right? We pay 6.2% as an employee, and the employer pays 6.2% as well on your wages. And that is up to $160,200. Guess what? If we see commercial real estate struggle and businesses close down, we see some companies try to reduce their staff. Guess what? And reduce their workforce. Guess what? That means there's less revenue coming into Social Security. So it does matter. Here's something else that's going on though. Right now, many people are worried that they're going to be taxed more. And why are they worried they're going to be taxed more? Because right now we are going through our tax season where we still have another couple weeks, I believe a couple weeks from yesterday, where the American people have to file their taxes, right? By April 18th, 2023. Guess what? Currently, taxes are coming in and the people that are receiving refunds are getting about 11% less than what they did last year. Okay? So it is a very difficult role to figure out how we provide assistance in a time when many people are getting less refunds back from the IRS, but they were still expecting the same amount. Now, what are we seeing from both parties? Well, and why are we seeing this? Well, both parties are being patient. They want to wait. But why? According to reports, Republicans are putting together a concrete plan, and this will address the debt ceiling. However, it is also going to entail many cuts. Democrats don't want to see this, and Democrats say that they have waited long enough, and the plan needs to be released very soon. But reports indicate that the GOP will have it out sometime after their Easter recess, which they will come back. They will be in session on Monday, April 17th. So again, we still have time. we still have a decent amount of time for the GOP to put together a proposal. Now, here's what's going to happen moving forward. President Biden, he is going to reject any and all efforts from the GOP to tie the debt ceiling to spending cuts. We know this, he said it, it's not going to be a shock. And the GOP says they will not increase the debt ceiling without these cuts. But a decision has to be made from one party or both. Do we cut some things and we raise the debt ceiling a small amount? Do we cut many things and raise the debt ceiling even more? Or do we see no cuts and the debt ceiling stays where it is at? That would be a disaster. That would be a disaster simply because we cannot pay our debts. So, we have a couple of months to go back and forth. And by that time, hopefully we have something narrowed down, because if not, we will default as a nation on our debts. This would send the U.S. into a recession. We would be in a global recession. The U.S. is gonna be hurt. Okay, we will be hit very hard if this doesn't happen. Which is why I don't think we're gonna default on our debts, but I think both parties have to come together and figure out how we get through this. Now, what does this mean for Social Security? Well, while all this stuff goes on, Social Security is still one of the biggest issues. Experts say that Social Security is still a big question mark. They say both parties can't agree on how we will extend the solvency. The GOP will entertain the idea of changes, but they don't like the idea of the tax and spend ways. And they say that the tax and spend is what has gotten us into this mess in the first place. Then we have Democrats. Democrats say we need to have a clean debt ceiling increase bill, and we need to tax the wealthy and push it towards Social Security and Medicare. So simply tax and spend. But like I said before, how do we tax the wealthy? How do we tax the wealthy without them finding another loophole? And you don't. The wealthy people in the United States, they have, high price accountants. They have, lawyers. They have teams. And those teams will figure out the loopholes, let them know what they are, so they don't have to pay all this excess tax. That's what's going to happen. So essentially, even though they're going to tax the wealthy, the problem is it's most likely going to come back to the American people. But here's what experts believe will happen. Experts believe that we will raise the income cap for Social Security from $160,200 up to $250,000. We're not going to go up to $400,000. We will not see a gap from 160 up to 400. We'll just raise it up to 250,000. This will be something that Republicans will be a little bit upset about, but at the same time, they'll be happy because they can then go towards Democrats and say, your president said nobody making under $400,000 per year would see a penny more in taxes. That's exactly what happened. You raised it $90,000, and so now people making up to $250,000 per year will pay more in taxes. So it's your fault. That's what we're going to see. But experts also worry that this is not going to provide enough revenue to keep Social Security solvent past 2034, and it won't. Right now, estimates say only 6% of wage earners hit the $160,200 mark for the Social Security tax cap anyways. So because of that, we are not going to have enough money. So this is where lawmakers and experts can't agree. How else can we increase revenue or decrease cost? Here are some of the things that they're currently discussing. Obviously, raising the full retirement age from age 66 or 67 up to age 70. That could actually reduce costs. They say increase the payroll tax. Instead of 12.4%, let's increase it by 3.2% and get it up to 15.6%. So raise the entire tax, which guess what? That would then impact every single person. It wouldn't just impact the wealthy, wouldn't just impact people up that made over $160,000 per year. No, you would be taxed 15.6% on your paycheck, not 12.4%. Big difference. We would also, they say, we would also consider privatizing Social Security. And the last one is imposing a Social Security tax on business and investment income. Currently, business and investment income is exempt from the Social Security tax. So that's what we know at this time. That is what people are discussing. Again, lawmakers say Social Security will be stronger one way or another, but we don't know. Are they referring to the entire Social Security program and the fact that it would not become insolvent within the next 10 years? Or are they talking about Social Security beneficiaries? Will they get an increase in benefits? Honestly, I personally don't think we are hearing about a lot of increases. The only increase that, and again, it's a roundabout way to get there, but if we don't see a decrease to Social Security, is that technically an increase? Because if Social Security does become insolvent, then beneficiaries would only get about 77 to 78%. So if we do see additional revenue go into Social Security, does that mean Social Security benefits technically get an increase of about 22 to 23%? Some say yes, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen, or what do you want to see happen regarding Social Security? Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.